It's so good to come back to a machine shop a year on and see a company's progress that they're making with the machine. Anton, we're at Scott Bennett Engineering. Over a year ago you bought your Nakamura.
Yep.
How are you finding it?
Great. Best thing we ever did.
So you're a turner by trade
Yep.
originally,
Yep.
and then now you've been introduced to the milling side of
Agreed,
things.
yeah.
How are you finding that?
Well, obviously going from a two-axis background to a three-axis, never done any milling, and some of the parts we now produce on this machine, as we did show last year, we've moved on. Some of the turning and milling we do joints is fantastic, especially the manual guide side of things, the conversational milling, the speed and the quickness of setting up the parts, really.
Now, I know from our last conversation
Yep.
as well, it wasn't just the machine that you were so impressed with, but it was the fact that this new technology means you're not using as much aluminium because you are having to have 3 operations, you are holding the part.
Correct.
Now it's just millimeters, but you're making even more progress now. At the end of the day, it's all about profitability for the business. And you've had different customers come through the door now, haven't you?
Yes, yeah. We've invested in the Rotor rack system. The customer of ours was insistent on a good surface finish, tight tolerance. We didn't want parts dropping on each other. So the Rotor rack system is perfect for this. One part drops off at a time and obviously gets taken away to a safe distance, and they gather in the middle of the Rotor rack system, and it's perfect, really.
You've also just invested in another Nakamura. I mean, you've got a choice of so many, and every time you're going for Nakamuras. So how are you finding that machine?
Fantastic. It's not a twin spindle like this one, it's a single spindle, but again, churning out the parts as well as this one does.
So overall, as a machinist, an engineer, would you recommend Nakamuras to other people, and why?
Very much so. I think with this particular model on the AS200, I've found and we've found at Scott Bennett that the capacity now on the milling department has been opened up to do other work, whereas we're now doing so much more milling on this fixed head.
So would you say you're busier than you ever were before because of machines like this and this technology?
I would, because now we can quote for different jobs and give better cycle times. Obviously then the customer thinks, oh, Scott Bennett Engineering.